absolutely think that's so true, Helen, and I think that's why I found, you have to, I think, really envision what you're looking at, where you want to go, what it's going to be, and very distinctly be in a place of really feeling yourself there. I think that's part of what they call the law of attraction, or that whole concept about how things come to you. And but I think there's also a place you take action toward it, but then you have to have a place where you let go of the outcome. And I find that when I'm in the process of doing projects, sometimes they look a little simple and then they get a little complicated. And I'm going, oh my gosh, how am I going to get all of this done? Or where are the resources? Or, how is this all going to come together? I used to just, okay, this is going to be an 18-hour day, and I'm going to push the pedal to the metal and go for it. And now I'll go and I'll spend time at the pool. And I will take a meditation tape or beautiful music, something that really leaves space in my head and in my heart for things to just evolve. And that's how I handle that now. That's how I allow the outcome to just sort of flow, as opposed to having to orchestrate it and having to really be in control of it. And I find that usually within a day, and many times within an hour, when I return from doing something that's wonderful in nature, all of a sudden it's resolved, or the tools come, or the people come, or whatever needs to come is there with the answer. It's almost like a miracle. It's like magic, really.
Yeah, it is, and that's how I operate. There are certain times, and last week was a bit like that, when I don't know what was happening with the energies, but it just seemed to be one of those weeks when I found personally very, very difficult to stay in that energy, in that flowing, allowing energy. And I missed it. God, because I can remember when I didn't used to be like that. Back, in my 20s, 30s, and even 40s, early 40s, I was in the reactive mode, thinking that we had to push, that stuff didn't get done unless you did it, and it was action, 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 and that's very much how the corporate world still works, as far as I see it.
Yeah, it certainly can. And I think things are shifting there. I've been out of doing corporate work with really major corporations about 4 or 5 years now. But you started to see a shift, and you started to see more collaboration. You started to see somewhat of a change of management style, but it's very slow happen in a corporation, because there's different expectations, and especially now with the economy, I think a lot of times people are expected to do more with less, and so it can be more challenging. But I still think even taking any time out for yourself, where you just center on yourself, what's important to you, you come back refreshed with a whole different approach to what you're doing, and it's really important to allow that space. Really important.
Yeah, it's being able to give yourself that different perspective.
Yeah, and for you to allow the creativity to flow. Because, many times if you're just doing things rote, or you're doing things that need to be done, not to say that doesn't happen, but that can really stymie creativity, I find, for myself. And I need that space to let the creative ideas come in. All of a sudden there'll be a new way to think about something. There'll be a new to the problem, a new little path to go down, the little crick in the road. Or I'm thinking, oh, geez, that would be so much simpler, or that'd be so much better from the people that are going to benefit from this. And it just takes on another complexion. And I just find for myself, I can't do that without allowing some space.
Absolutely, and that can be what for the viewers, that can be whatever suits them. It can be, for me, it's often getting out into nature, just taking a walk, just the action of walking, and breathing and just being in a totally different environment. That works for me. It could be swimming, it could be the pool, it could be whatever. But it's about, isn't it? It's about getting into that different space so that you can actually slow down.
It is. And I think you make such a great point, Helen, because nature does not force any of this. Nature just allows things to be. We down here in Mexico have just come out of 2 hurricanes in 2 weeks. And I've just watched how that all transpired and how nature recovered from that. And, it just flows. Things just happen with nature. And I think when you're saying to get back to nature, that's what happens for us when we do. Not only can it be beautiful and wonderful and relaxing, it also encourages the flow, because that's what nature does, really.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the sun doesn't have sort of, getting up in the morning on its to-do list every morning, does it? It just happens, The same with the plants that grow and in their own natural cycle. That's what they do, and it happens in its own time. And I think this is one of the things also that when we can allow the idea of divine timing, the idea of when we give ourselves that space and we open up to opportunity and we follow our passion, things will happen and I hesitate to say right because there's no right or wrong, but in the right time, at the right time, in the right space.
No question. I meant